Okay, so yeah, GPT Shameless plug. Um, so what is this Shameless plug presentation about? It's essentially about marketing and products of 3M Dev. But I hope it's a little bit more about that. Maybe it's about a little bit about how we growing, how we want to be transparent, how we evolving with our thinking about what we deliver. Maybe it's a little bit about also this kind of open source ethos that we feeling that we want to be different than other people. Like we want to be a little bit more transparent. We want to show more of what's going in the kitchen. Yeah, not only like what's the result. Like this is your meal, and you don't know if this is rat or this is like I don't know some well prepared monster, or this is just like very well like high quality food that you have on your plate. Um, so it's also for us, for ourselves, to keep the historical record of what we proposed in the past, how we talk about products. Yeah, maybe in future we will have to delete that from internet, although maybe internet will not forget, and that would be the problem. But anyway, like I hope this will show how we try to provide some value with some offering, and maybe people will look at it. Yeah, they failed with that, do not do this again. Yeah, so maybe that's also about failures and about showing how to not do things. So I will talk about hardware, about services. Of course, there have to be Dasharo entry subscription slide because that's our like center focus of delivering value, merchandise, and yeah, and everything can be bought in shop3m.com, of course. So one of the products that was like accidentally best product of 3M Dev is, and even it's not 3M Dev product, yeah, because it's made by I even don't remember the person name, but it's someone from a Tizen community. I guess even website. I don't know if it's still working, but there was publication on open source hardware license. This SD wire. So SD wire is essentially a flash SD card connected to some computer, which gives you ability to multiplex SD card between multiplex different SD cards, and you essentially can remotely deliver different content, and your target device thinks those are different cards and different content on it. Yeah, and this is used like a lot of people using that. This is like for example 3D printing people. Like, so for example, you have like 3D printing laboratory which is remotely, and you want to deliver new schema for your printer, and like people using that. There are people with cameras, with there are some photographers who using that. There are some serious business that using that, a huge organization doing automation. And yeah, so like very popular product. So if you have this kind of needs that you have to remotely switch content of SD card, then yeah, you can consider this product. Next one, this is on back order. We're looking for some interested customers. It's very expensive. I know it's very expensive, but the pieces, like all these connectors, or all this pinouts, so this is like if you put that together, then like whole logistics are around that, and the fact that we really don't need huge amounts means that we cannot go down with price much lower. Yeah. So RTE, remote testing environment, is a tool, is a open source hardware electronic device which help us deliver Zarhus, which help us deliver Dasharo. It is essentially the foundation of the Dasharo certification lab. So our lab in our company where we connect devices and validate those automatically, and hope to deliver as many Dasharo releases as we can. So if you will, help us, you will buy some of those, or some of your companies could buy those, or some of your friends' companies could buy those. Then we can make an order. We like just needed small volume, like 25 or 50. It's still a huge amount of money to invest, and like there are also potential problems in the way, because bill of materials do not match. You have to update this. there are various things that can go wrong. But anyway, we have to continue, and buying this, you help us move the ecosystem forward. There is also another project based on open source hardware design. This design was published by Joachim Dojo Fenkes. I'm sorry. This is Twonky. It's based on Twinkie from Google, and it's essentially USB power delivery sniffer injector. It can be used for everyone who doing anything related to USB power delivery. I guess for people doing some hacking, want to leverage power delivery firmware, I guess there are bugs there. There is no open source firmware of USB power delivery as far as I know. And if you want to hack it, then you can use Twonky, which is available in our shop. More to that, we're using that for validation of the laptops that we deliver, Nova Custom laptops, and other devices which have power delivery. Then FobNail token development kit. It's just a set of components used for FobNail development. If you are interested in FobNail development, you are interested in having attestation server on a token, then consider this. And if you want to contribute to FobNail project, this is necessary. Yeah. About services a little bit. So we have this remote workshop with client, which is also kind of interesting product, recently considered by our customers and delivered by us. It's a very simple product where we're talking with client wants some really typically client may even don't know what they want. Sometimes they don't know. So if client don't know what he or she wants, we suggest workshop, and we just calling up together for 2-3 hours. We have live note taking. Of course, before that we agree on some agenda, and then we just doing this session of discussion, designing, drawing. We discussing product scenario, the paths for boot process, paths for securing, paths for integrating CI/CD, paths for setting up infrastructure. We discussed threat model that they consider valid for their devices, and of course how business relation could be laid out. And that's one of the products that we deliver, or services, I would say more. Yeah. So this is essentially remote workshop session. Support package. This is also very, very popular way of buying services from 3M Dev. We essentially have these communication channels. We have Mattermost, we have email, we have some Jira-based tracking system, we have conferencing system like this one, like Jitsi, and we can leverage that to deliver support for customer. Of course, there are also repositories and many other stuff like cloud storages and all that stuff, but that's not the point. The point is that client, after buying this support package, get assigned a software provider contact person, so 3M Dev contact person, and that person just gets all the inquiries and redirect and coordinate inside the organization, inside 3M Dev, what's going on, like all the code development, documentation review, is it hardware bring up, hardware debugging, whatever is needed. And in that way we deliver value for the customers. Of course, this is paid service and should render margins for us. And of course, what we do with these margins, we use these margins to deliver more open source firmware like Zarhus or Dasharo, or maybe even some trainings to open security training portal. Yeah, so this is we also doing custom stuff related to open source firmware if someone is interested. So for example, we're doing custom builds if you have you are industrial company who's using PC engines, or maybe internet service provider or telecommunication company. There are also those which there's a lot of PC engines devices there, and maybe you use other devices related to or leveraging open source firmware. So we deliver custom builds for anyone who wants. This is of course per project or per product based pricing. Other thing is like rebasing the code. Sometimes customers coming to us with some terribly outdated core boot base, and we have to do something with that. We cannot work with some ancient core boot because this is expensive and this is like hard work. And first thing we plan to do is the rebase, and that's why we have this in offering. Of course, we analyze what kind of features, what kind of code that person or that company added on top of this tree, and then trying to rebase to the latest or some specific version. Sometimes we have to do the rebase for like certain tag or say certain branch. It really depends on the situation, but essentially we're trying to go to the newer version. And of course, like we make sure that there is feature compatibility, so we have automated tests which can validate that firmware behaves in the same way before the starting the process and after finishing the process. Assessments. This is also like recently very popular offering. So where we assess some features. So for example, let's say secure boot, or in this case TXE secure boot, or Intel boot guard, or any other proprietary technology in hardware. So essentially there is a customer who wants to leverage this proprietary technology, but they don't know if they can, or if the platform is prepared, or maybe like schematics do not allow that, or maybe it was already broken by previous firmware developers. So they can send us hardware and we will assess if what they want is really possible. Then we deliver, of course, some report, and we deliver some implementation plan for delivering Dasharo Trust Root, of course, or like alternative solutions if customer wants that. Other assessment, this is very like popular in embedded Linux environment. So this is like analysis of the boot time and optimization of the boot time. We had this discussion before this. So we essentially have this as a service, optimization of the boot time. The secure boot integration, it's also like, for example, this is the case for Rockchip. So you can see here that there are some patches flying here and there, which are required for U-boot and for untrusted firmware to essentially be able to correctly provision secure boot on Rockchip based SoCs. And this is what we're doing. We essentially apply those patches. We know that patches. We know what they should lead to, how to integrate those. So we essentially sell that knowledge as a service, as a productized service. We already tested a bunch of platforms, the public one, the custom one, and things work. So yeah, so if you have any Rockchip hardware and you would like to have immutable root of trust on it, please come to us. We will be glad to sell it to you. Yeah, so secure boot integration, the same thing. This is like for Rockchip. This is for example for the Bay Trail. Yeah, so TXE secure boot integration. Yeah, and finally Dasharo Entry subscription. So maybe not everyone knows, but that's very interesting kind of conclusion, that Dasharo Entry subscriptions, like in 80% times, is sold as a 1-year version. This is for Dasharo Core Boot plus UFI. For Dasharo Core Boot plus Heads, it's not like that. It's like, I would say it's more be like 40% is like a longer subscription, or maybe even more. So, but 2 years, 2 years is essentially almost never sold. Like I saw it like, it's like, we probably should just resign from offering 2 years. Nobody buying 2 years. They are buying 1 year or 3 years. Yeah, and of course we have a network appliance. So you can see that those are not Dasharo entry subscription for MSI or Dasharo entry subscription for PC engines. So why it is not for specific platform? This is because we plan to deliver the Dasharo entry subscription for given segment. So desktop could have multiple devices in the segment. I would say like the desktop is Z690, Z790, but potentially could be also a Optiplex. Potentially could be also a different desktop platform. It's same with network appliance. So for example, right now we will offer essentially for Intel Bay Trail based Minoboard Turbot essentially the same Dasharo entry subscription. Yeah, so that's it. And I don't know, maybe someone wants also like multi-year subscription for the network appliance. If that's the case, then feel free to reach us out. For right now, there was no such a request. There are also some like kind of nice things which you can buy and have like Dasharo on your desk as a mug, or you can like use your bag as a Dasharo advertisement. With the slogan "Test, choose, know your firmware," and Dasharo logo on the front side. And essentially that's it. Everything and much more you will find in shop3mdeb.com. Please come and buy from us. Thank you very much. Yeah. What about offering multiple devices subscription options? I'm not sure what does it mean. The terms of service for Dasharo entry subscription allows to have up to 5 devices if you're doing for personal use, and that's completely fine. Different machines, yes, like different machines, like from the segment. Yeah, if you have like desktop, you may have, let's say, 5 MSI. You may have Z690, Z790, and that's fine. That's one subscription. That's okay. Different platforms, like as I said, like, so if you buy the Dasharo entry subscription for desktop, you can have Optiplex if we will release it, Z690, Z790, 3 different platforms, and that's one subscription. So that's the goal, but of course that's for personal use only. And if there will be more than 5 platforms, we would like to like prohibit that, because like if someone have really more than 5 devices with Dasharo, is kind of sounds like something more going in direction of business than